Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. Double honors being to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is why you heathens, all right, and I'm going to say you heathens are going to go in slavery, all right? You heathens have to go into captivity, because as we just witnessed here, you had a group of Moabite women. Seems to be clearly Americanized because they're showing the cleavage, they wearing Adidas and all that stuff. But they basically killed a pack of rats, sauteed them in some onion sauce, then put them in a damn skillet and fried them, then ate barbecue rat, man. That's an abomination right there. And you see why we got to get the hell up out of this place? Now, I don't know if they was in America or they was over there in China or Malaysia, wherever the hell they was. Just the fact that this is what these heathens do. All right? These heathens, they need to be put in subjection. All right? Because them gooks, the Moabites, as fair as they look, hey, they said you never know what you get until you get it, man. I mean, they eat frog, they eat cat, they eat dog, they eat rats. You know, they eat possums. And that's why I never really been a big fan of Chinese food. If I ever did Chinese food, it probably would have been chicken egg rolls. Or even you don't even know what's in that, or it'd be some type of plain rice. But all you Panda Express eating jakes out there, you Chinese food eating jakes, this is what you're eating: rat, cat, whatever it may be, because it even tells you that all the meat they got may not be extremely chicken. It may not all be chicken. But yet they barbecued the rats. They cooked them. Seemed like they put cayenne pepper on it. And they had some dipping sauce. And they was eating that shit like it was drumsticks, man. Do you know what type of diseases and parasitic worms are in those particular rodents? And yet you're digesting that. They say you become what you eat. And yeah, you got simple Jake out there that follow after the heathen. Like, I know a lot of Jakes from down south. Jake like, yeah, man, I eat alligator. I eat possum. I eat frog? Like, what? Like, you're eating rodents and particular creatures that you're not supposed to consume, because every creature on the planet Earth have a particular purpose and is all not meant to be eaten. All right, the Lord gave us stringent dietary laws on what we should eat and what we should not eat. And the scriptures tell you not supposed to eat the hair, roughly paraphrasing, which goes into like a rodent, a rat almost, because if you look at a rabbit, it's not necessarily in the same family, but I believe they're like distant cousins or something like that. You know, I have to really look it up, but they're not meant for consumption. You know, so this is an abomination. And you Moabites, man, that's why you Moabites are going straight into slavery. All right, because honestly, you proud, can't nobody tell you anything. Yeah, you eating a bunch of rats, you cats. You know, you do all types of abomination. Yeah, you got the audacity to look down on the people of color, well, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And then you come to America, you Moabite women, you get with these soft, frail, weak Edomites and think you found you a god when you found nothing but a damn, but a demon, but a weak, frail individual that's not worth the gum on the bottom of your shoe. Because believe it or not, you Moabites are even more, you're worthy more than Edomites. You're above Esau, believe it or not, because Esau is the base of men. But nonetheless, you went too far from the bottom, because honestly, I put you in a category right along with Ham. So between Moab and Ham, I don't know who's the lowest, because you got Esau, and then you got Ham, or then you got Moab. Both of y'all, honestly, you're neck and neck, because you Moabites out there, you have this undying affection for the so-called white man. That's your whole thing. You want to come to America and you want to meet you a so-called white man, you know, and that's all you see. But then you barely see Jakes with Cambodian women, which the Cambodians are Israelites, majority of them. Same thing with the Vietnamese. Most of them are Israelites, you know. But nonetheless, you would see these Moabite women that look down on Jake, but yet, you know, they're all in these Edomite face. I mean, Esau can be a blatantly murderer, all right, child pedophile. You know, Esau literally deprecate on his subjects and eat the shit off the fucking pig's plate. And yeah, you people still want to get with him. But you know what? You can have them, because after what I just saw, hey, you two are a match made in hell. A Moabite and an Edomite, man. Because Moab they have a desire to be just like Esau. Look at the way that their economies are built up. Look at the way that they wear the suit and ties. They got briefcase. You know, they drive European vehicles, you know, BMWs, etc. You know, dress like Edomites. Moab is pretty much almost like a new Edomite, you know, but nonetheless, you heathens have to go in slavery. All right, so this is the book of Ezra 6, and I'm gonna start at verses 20 because you got a lot of Jakes that follow behind this ordinance as well. This is Ezra 6, and I'm gonna start at 20. It says, "For the priests and the Levites were purified together; all of them were pure, and killed the Passover for all the children of the captivity, for their brethren, their priests, and themselves, and the children of Israel, which were come again out of captivity, and all such as had separated themselves unto them from the filthiness of the heathen of the land." All right, and what you just saw was a filthy, grotesque act, eating rats, mouse, mice, rat stew. I mean, they fried the rat up and ate it like it was chicken, then probably put soy sauce on the shit. And I mean, they were literally eating it, man, and then had the audacity to film it. That's not disturbing, and I don't know what else to say, but that was stomach churning, you know. And that's why, hey, low key, I never eat, which I said I was never big on Chinese food, but you can't even pay me. Chinese food is like McDonald's to me, man. You're not gonna pay me to go in there and get it. This is not gonna happen. All right, so all you brothers out there, you eat Chinese food, man, you probably need to reevaluate. Because like I said, you never know what you're getting in your Kung Pao chicken. You could be eating a dead possum, you know, and they season it up so good to the point you don't know what the hell you eating. Anyway, it says, "From the filthiness of the heathen of the land to seek the Lord thy power of Israel did eat." Okay, so we're supposed to be separated from these heathens, from these nations, and this is why Yahweh Shem Yahushai told us to come out of her, my people, separate spiritually from this place, because dealing with these heathen men is nothing but destruction and death. All right, because they don't follow the commandments of the Most High, and ultimately this is a death sentence following the heathen, because you got Jakes, like I said, that eat rat, that eat shrimp, that eat lobster, that eat pork, you know, that eat turtles, so turtle soup, bat wing soup. Like, I've never heard something so disgusting, man. And I'm glad to Yahweh Shem Yahushai that even before I came into the truth, the Lord never put it in my spirit to eat things that look weird like that. Like, I've never tasted a crab leg. I've never tasted a lobster. I never wanted it, because I used to come in the house and, you know, my family, they'd be cooking that stuff. I see these big 2.5 foot crab legs with claws sticking out this pot, and I'm like, what the hell is that smell? And it just looked creepy. The spirit always said, you don't want to touch that. And I've never tasted a crab leg. And hey, the water Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man, I never tasted a lobster. All right, but shrimp I have. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't big on shrimp, but I have tasted a shrimp before, and just speaking on it is making my stomach turn. All right, but they was always like like fried shrimp, or if I did get Chinese food, they have what they call shrimp fried rice, basically rice and roaches. So yes, I've had a roach, which I'm not proud to say that, but you know, you didn't know. But some of this other shit they eating, miss me with that, man. Wow. But anyway, it says, "The burden of Moab, because of the night of Moab is laid waste." Okay, so the Most High is going to lay you Moabites desolate. Because for one thing, you try to propose yourself after the well-favored harlot, which is America. And it says, "and brought to silence, because the night of Kir of Moab is laid waste and brought to silence." It says, "He is gone up to Bajith and to Dibon and to the high places to weep. And Moab shall howl over Nebo and Medeba. And on all their heads should be baldness and every beard cut off." Right, which proves that you Moabites did have beards back in the day. All right, because even then, you still follow some type of cultural law, because it was lawful for men to have a beard on his face. Okay, the first concept of shaving came from the ancient Hamites, the Egyptians. They used to shave their beards off and put on makeup and eyeliner. And then what Esau did was he followed the philosophies of the heathen, and then he started to incorporating themselves into himself. And this is why when you go in the corporate world, they say you should shave your beard, get a bald head, a 5 o'clock shadow. All that comes from the heathen, from the Egyptians. You know, same thing with the hairlinings, get all that was Egyptian customs. Because, you know, back in the world, Jake was looking real crispy with them hairlinings, man. You know, but hey, that's not our custom. And on top of that, man, when we get in our perfection, our hairlines are going to be perfect. So you ain't going to need to be putting no edge and no clippers. You're going to have a perfect hairline, and it's going to be perfect. You know, you ain't going to be balding in one spot and have an eddy here. No, you're going to have a perfect hairline in the kingdom, okay? So Jake's is getting the haircuts and stuff like that. We ain't going to be putting the razor to our hair like these heathens do, you know? But anyway, It says here, and in the streets they should gird themselves with sackcloth, and on top of their houses, and in their streets everyone shall howl weeping abundantly. And if you notice that every time that the Most High bring judgment on Ammon, you notice that Esau is right after, because for the simple fact they're in the same pot. Because Moab, they really believe that they're going to be the next superpower after Esau Edom loses. So the whole point about North Korea and parts of China coming up against America is not because they want to see this place destroyed. Is because they really want to be the next superpower. Because in reality of it is, only thing Moab would do is continue in the ways of Esau and witchcraft, demonology, all types of undesirability. They will continue in the same way. They'll be basically the new Edomites. Because they ain't going to change anything. They ain't going to go back to Buddhist temples or, geisha temples, which the Japanese, they deal with geisha. Like you got, which is equivalent prostitute, which they're called geisha girls. Pretty nice looking, But nonetheless, I look at it like the Japanese being more the Jakes and the Chinese being more the Edomite counterparts, man. Because a lot of Japanese, believe it or not, a lot of them Ammonites are really Jakes. Like the first concept of samurais, those are actually Israelites, man. Those ninjas, those people who they spot out through the Jesuits, a lot of those were Jakes, man. A lot of those so-called samurai warriors. Because the first samurai was actually a so-called black man, an Israelite, But nonetheless, it says in their streets they should gird themselves with sackcloth, and on the top of their houses and in their streets everyone should howl, weeping abundantly, right? Because the Most High got a heavy judgment for you Moabites, Because, hey, you are proud, all right? You live high off the hog. You're hand in hand with Esau Edom. You look down on Jake. You hate Jake, And Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, he's not dealing with you. So anyway, let's go to the book of Leviticus, the 11th chapter real quick, and get some of these dietary laws, and we're going to go back into Moab's judgment. Because you Moabites, man, you're proud, man. You're a bunch of damn heathens. Like, you come over here and you sell our women all this hair weave and all this makeup and these fingernails and stuff like that, but yet you don't even want the Negro 10 feet around you, but you want the money. And you Jakes, you're stupid enough to continue to support their business, going into Chinese foods, you go into a beauty supply store, they'll charge you a damn do-rag, $6 for a do-rag, man. $8 for some damn wave grease. It's ridiculous. But anyway, Leviticus, the 11th chapter, and I'm going to start at verses 2. It says, "Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, These are the beasts which ye should eat among the beasts that are on the earth. Whatsoever parteth the hoof and is cloven footed and cheweth the cud among the beasts shall ye eat." Okay? Because those are clean particular beasts, all right? Like a lot of beasts, that like a lot of cows, like really a cow's primary diet will be grass or wheat or grains and so forth, Like chickens, like they got what they call farm-raised chickens, which you got to be careful of those too, because a lot of times Esau pump them up with hormones, but you want to eat things that have mainly a vegetation type diet, because like I said, you are what you eat, but if you eat a pig, then a pig eats anything, and then basically you ate what the pig ate. So if a pig was to swallow a damn tire, a 20-inch tire, and you eat the pig, then guess what? That 20-inch tire that pig ate, it's going to be in your digestive tract. And you wonder why you have all types of diseases and gout and worms and, skin diseases, etc. And it says here, "But whosoever parteth the hoof and is cloven footed and cheweth the cud among the beasts that ye shall eat. But nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that cheweth the cud, or of them that divideth the hoof. As the camel, because he cheweth the cud, but divided not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the coney, because he cheweth the cud and divided not the hoof, he is unclean to you. And the hare, because he cheweth the cud, but divided not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the swine, though he divided the hoof and be cloven footed," because if you look at a pig's foot, it's cloven footed. But it says here, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean unto you. And of their flesh ye should not eat, and their carcass ye should not touch. They are unclean unto you. Okay? So it's not saying like a particular pig, right? People say, well, if you touch a pig, you unclean. Well, no, not necessarily, okay? It's a carcass. A carcass is something that's dead. All right, if it's dead, then you're unclean. But my thing is, in the kingdom, and even in the ancient world, we had pigs, we had farms. I mean, you got to till your sheep, you got to till your cattle, you got to till your particular animals. So, I mean, you got to touch them. So, but at the same time, you still want to remain clean among them. You still want to bathe, you still want to send up your prayers, But nonetheless, you're definitely not supposed to eat these things. All right. So anyway, going back into a couple of precepts, and Salaki, I'm all over the place, but this was just a video that was spurred a moment. But like I said, you Moabites, man, you Moabites are pathetic, you know. And we know we got a lot of confusion to face among Moab too, so this does not concern you. That's if you're trying to keep the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because you got a lot of Moabites that are Jakes, man, but they still continue with their customs because they were grown up to told that they were Chinese, Malaysian, you know, Cantonese, or whatever you want to call it. They were told, yo, look, you're a Chinaman. This is what we do, you know. But anyway, this is the book of Jeremiah 48:1. It says, against Moab, says the Lord of hosts, the power of Israel, woe to Nebo, for it is spoiled. Carithium is founded and taken, and Mizgabab is confounded and dismayed. And there should be no more praise of Moab. And in Heshbon they should devise an evil against it. Come and let us cut it off from being a nation. Also thou should be cut down, O madman, and the sword should pursue thee. Right? Because, hey, doing this nuclear destruction, all right, you Moabites, man, you're going to get a taste of the Lord's judgment too. All right, you're going to be under martial law. You're going to be under FEMA camps. Like right now, you're already living in a communist type society, to the point that you can't even go down the street without accumulating some type of social score, because they have social score over there. If you are like just a degenerate, or if you just like a person that's against the government, you know, if you radical like and you speak out against tyranny, your social credit score would be so low to the point you wouldn't even be able to board a city bus to get to work. And what comes from there? You're losing your job, you know, you're losing your job, using your apartment, your money. So basically the social score is to keep you in line. So you're already under martial law. You're already under siege, so to speak. Because honestly, Esau don't give a shit about you Moabites. You know, he call you slimy-eyed gooks. You know, he call you zipperheads. He call you all types of shit, but yet you got this undying fucking affection for the damn devil. You know? And it says here, and the Moab is destroyed, and her little ones have caused a cry to be heard. For in the mung of Luthieth, continual weeping shall go up, and for the going down of Horonium, and the enemies have heard the cry of destruction. But flee and save your lives, and be like the heath in the wilderness. For because thou hast trusted in thy works and thy treasures, thou shalt also be taken. And Kemosh shall go forth into captivity with this priest and this princess together. Now you got to understand that this happened already, but if you correlate prophecy into future prophecy, you will see that these same Moabite cities, they are basically in war with Esau right now. All right, if you look at the way that Russia and China and Iran, they're all coming together. They're all coming together to fight this whore. But it's going to be a lot of destruction among them, you know. And it says, and a spoiler should come upon every city, and no city should escape. And that spoiler is none other than Esau Edom, setting up these different hierarchies and these different governments to come against it. Because of course it looks like that is Moab coming against Moab, but you got to understand that Esau sets up puppets in these lands. Okay, and it says here, and the spoiler should come upon every city, and no city should escape. And it says, and the valley also should perish, and the plain should be destroyed, as the Lord have spoken. So, hey, you Moabites, you got a heavy judgment coming, all right, because you engage in recreational madness like that. But all right, going down to verses 16, it says, matter of fact, let's start at matter of fact, let's keep reading. It says, Moab have been at ease from his youth, and he have settled on his lees, and have not been empty from vessel to vessel, neither have he gone yet into captivity. Right? You Moabites been living good. You came to America. You got Chinatowns out in San Francisco. You got a Chinatown in New York. You got a Chinatown in Chicago. You got your own little dedicated towns out there, you know. And it says here, and he had gone into captivity. And it says, therefore his taste remained in him, and his sin is not changed, because you're still filthy. You're still heathens. You still follow the ways of the whore. Okay, you still hate the children of Israel. And it says, therefore, behold, the day, says the Lord, that I will send it to him wanderers, that should cause him to wander, and should empty his vessels and break their bottles. And Moab should be ashamed in Chemosh, as the house of Israel was ashamed of Bethel in their confidence, right? Because your confidence is the westernized society, your military. You know, believing that you're going to get the Western Empire. You believe you're going to be the next superpower. That's why the scriptures say you on leaves. And it says, but how shall we, it says, how say we, or how say ye, we are mighty and strong men for war? But Moab is spoiled and is gone up out of her cities, and his chosen young men are gone down to the slaughter, because World War III A lot of you are going to get slaughtered out there. It says the king whose name is the Lord of hosts. And the calamity of Moab is near to come, and his affliction hasted fast. And all ye that are about him bemoan him. And all ye that is known his name say, how is the strong staff broken, the beautiful rod? Thou daughter that does inhabit Deben, come down from thy glory and sit in a thirst. For the spoil of Moab should come upon thee, and he should destroy thy strongholds. And the spoil of Moab is really Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right. And it says, O inhabitant of Ur, stand by the way in Epsi. Ask him that fleeth and her that escapeth, and say, what is done? But Moab is confounded, for it is broken down. Howl and cry, and tell it ye earning, that Moab is spoiled. And judgment is come upon the plain country, upon Holon, and upon Jazah, and upon Mepath, and upon Deben, and upon Nebo, and upon Beth Diblathaim, and upon Kirthaim, and upon Beth Gumal, and upon Bethamion, and upon Kirath, and upon Bozrah. Okay, there you go, Bozrah. And upon all the cities of the land of Moab, for or near. And the horn of Moab is cut off, and his arm is broken, says the Lord. And make ye him drunken, for he magnify himself against the Lord. That's right, because like I said, you are proud against the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and you call us a bunch of Negroes too. But it says Moab shall wallow in his vomit, and he shall also be in derision. Okay, so and this whole chapter just gets into the Moabites, man. You know, like it says here, we have heard the pride of Moab. He is exceedingly proud, his loftiness. Go to Hong Kong, man. They live lavishly over there. But yet, 95% of the city is under smog attack, man. Here you got these big, magnificent skyscrapers that you can barely see out the window because the pollution is so thick due to these particular plants and these particular power plants and factories that you got out there. Those people are sick. You know, but it says his loftiness and his arrogancy and his pride and the haughtiness of his heart. Okay? Because they are proud. And if you pay attention to how these women were eating them damn rats, man, they didn't have a care in the world. You know, that was carelessness, if I may add. All right? So, yeah, your chickens are coming home to roost. And Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to bring it to pass in the coming days. All right? So, this is the book of 2nd Esdras 15. And I'm going to start at verses... let's start at verses 646. It says, and thou, Asia, thou art partaker in the hope of Babylon. It says, and art the glory of her person, but woe be unto thee, thou wretched, because thou hast made thyself like unto her. That's right. All types of abominations, suits, ties, business endeavors, skyscrapers. You got McDonald's out there in Hong Kong, Burger King, you know, Jack in the Box. And it says, and has decked thy daughters in whoredom, that they may please and glory in thy lovers, like I said, because you have undying love for Esau. It says, which have also desired to commit whoredom with thee. But it says, thou hast followed her that is hated in all her works and inventions. Right. Because America is the most hated country on the planet Earth. But if you pay attention, the influential structure is so captivating to the point every nation out there, to a certain degree, have an Americanized economy somewhere. Even going to Tokyo. If you look at Tokyo, that look like baby New York, man. You know. But it says, therefore, thus says Yahweh, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. And the glory of thy power should be dried up as a flower, and the heat should arise that is sent over thee, and thou should be weakened as a poor woman with stripes, and as one chastised with wounds, so that the mighty and lover should not be able to receive thee, because Esau is going to turn his back on you damn demons, man. Esau don't care about you Moabites, period. All right, and you should know that by now. But like I said, you think you're going to supplant Esau for his power, Esau is going to supplant you, man. You know, because like I said, man, all you nations, you're going down right along with this so-called white man. He's going down and you're going down too. All right. One more precept, Psalm 60:8. Moab is my washpot. Over Edom would I cast out my shoe. You notice they always equate Moab with Edom. Why? Because, hey, you got that term like I'm on your heels. Moab is on the heels of Esau, trying to be like Esau. But Esau ain't going for that. But it says, Philistria triumph because of me. Okay. So anyway, brothers, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Shem Yahushai B'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors being to the elders, the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings and salutations. And with that, Shalom and a Baba Ball.